All right, what Bitcoin actually is, most people get this wrong. Now, before we get into this, take a step back for a second. With everything's happening right now, the price going up, pulling back, moving again, it's easy to get stuck watching numbers. And when that happens, you start reacting instead of understanding. This is where most people lose clarity. They get caught in the movement and forget what they're actually holding. And here's something that doesn't get said enough. Volatility doesn't test Bitcoin. It tests your understanding of it. Because if you really understand what this is, the price won't shake you the same way. But if you don't, every move feels like you need to act. Now think back to why you got into Bitcoin in the first place. It wasn't just price. It was the idea of owning something without relying on anyone else. It was control. It was scarcity. Some things that can't be created out of thin air. And for a lot of people, it was also about becoming financial free, building something that could actually hold values over time, something that could grow into real wealth. That's what pulled you in. But when the market moved fast, all of that get pushed aside, replaced it by short-term thinking, charts, candles, what happens next. So this is about coming back to that, not price, the reason. Because once you reconnect with that, volatility feels different. And that's what we're about to walk through. Bitcoin is not just an investment. And if that's the only way you've been looking at it, that's why it hasn't clicked it yet. So here it is clearly. Bitcoin is a system for moving and storing value without a bank, without governments, without a middle layer. Because here's the part most people don't fully see. You don't actually own your money the way you think. The number in your accounts is a record, a promise, sitting on someone else's system, and access can be delayed or restricted because that's how the system works. Every transaction goes through a gatekeeper, a bank, a processor, and networks deciding if your money moves. Bitcoin removes that. It lets you send value directly, anywhere, without permission, no approval, no waiting, just you and the other side. And that's right there. It's a complete redesign of how value moves. Now let's take it deeper. Every system runs on a ledger, a records of ownerships, banks, governments, apps. They all have one. Bitcoin runs on ledger too, but without control. It's public, open, verified across global network. Anyone can check it. And once something is recorded, it can't be quietly changed. So instead of trusting an institution, you rely on a system that doesn't require trust. Ownership shifts from permission to proof. If you hold the keys, you hold the value. And when I say that, what I mean is this. Those keys are what give you control. Not an account, not a username, actual control. If you have them, the values is yours. If you don't, it isn't. Now, think about that. Bitcoin has no CEO, no headquarters, no single control point. It runs globally, so it doesn't stop. Now, the next question, what protects it? Bitcoin is secure through proof of work. Real-world energy protecting the network. Bitcoin is secured through proof of work. Real-world energy protecting the network, not opinions, not policy, energy that makes it extremely expensive to attack. So instead of trusting people, you rely on math, energy, and cost. And then their supplies, only 21 million fixed it. No one can change it. Compare that to a system where supplies expands and you start to see the difference. That's real scarcity. Now here's the parts that throw people off. The price, it moves fast, up, down, sometimes both. And if you only see it as an investment, that feels unstable. But zoom out, you're watching the world trying to price something it has never seen before, a system with no central control, fixed supplies, and global access. So it gotta go through phases, confusions, volatilities, then understanding. That's where we are. So the movement you're seeing, it's not the flaw. It's part of the process. Now here's the real challenge. It's not learning Bitcoins, it's unlearning. Everything's about money. Because when you remove the middleman, you gain control, but also responsibility. No reset button, no support line, no one fixing mistake. And for a lot of people, that's the uncomfortable part. Not because it's complicated, but because it is different. So when someone says Bitcoin is confusing, what they're feeling is that shift. Now step back. A system where value moves without permission, ledgers that can't be changed. Now step back. A system where value moves without permission, ledgers that can't be changed, and networks that doesn't stop. Security backed by energy. A supplies that can't be inflated. That's Bitcoin. And when you see it like that, it stops looking like a gamble. It starts looking like a tool that works regardless of price, a tool that doesn't rely on trust, a tool that gives control back to individuals. And just to be clear, this isn't about chasing one full Bitcoin. The point is understanding what this is and accumulating what you can while it's still misunderstood. Because the people who see it early, they don't just watch, they position themselves. So if things didn't fully click before, that's fine. Now you're seeing it from a different angle. The rest comes with time. And real quick before we wrap this up, once you understand Bitcoin, the next step is how you actually hold it. That part matters more than people think. I've been using Tangem. It's simple, secures, and keep things straightforward. I left a link in the descriptions if you want to check it out. I believe there's a discount there as well. If this helped you see Bitcoin differently, go ahead and like the videos and subscribe if you haven't done so, because we're going to keep breaking this down so you can actually understand what you're holding. And as always, my friends, don't forget to hold it tight and stack it right. All right, take care.